bind the G7 and India much more. But China
These are live visuals that you are seeing of Prime Minister Narendra Modi being received by members of the Indian diaspora in France. There are well over 1 lakh persons of Indian origin who reside there. These persons that you are seeing there at the airport were anxiously waiting for Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and the pleasantries being exchanged between members of the Indian diaspora and Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Prime Minister exchanging greetings with members of the Indian community in France. There are several French companies that are based in India, several Indian companies that are based in France, and there is a lot that has happened in terms of cultural and educational exchanges between India and France. There's a lot that is happening in terms of student exchanges. It's been decided to give a push to cultural ties. It's been decided to give a push to people ties as well. And we saw how France celebrated the Indian Cultural Festival, and then how India celebrated the French Cultural Festival. So the cultural ties also are deep-rooted between India and France. Members of the Indian diaspora carrying the tricolour in their hands, greeting Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Tomorrow, Prime Minister will be addressing a larger gathering of members of the Indian diaspora. He's made it a point to reach out to members of the Indian diaspora in all his visits to various countries, and that is a constant now in PM's visit across countries. We'll see that later in his visit to the West Asian countries as well. Prime Minister Narendra Modi greeting members of the Indian diaspora who were waiting with bated breath, in a sense, to receive Prime Minister Narendra Modi. We've seen how at the hotels where Prime Minister puts up during his visits, there are several members of the Indian diaspora who come there. They greet Prime Minister, PM waves to them, shakes hands with them, greets them, and that's how the people-to-people connect between India and France, between India and several countries, becomes stronger. There is a feeling of greater affinity, and the bond between the Indian community and India becomes stronger. So Prime Minister, in a way, acting as a bridge between India and members of the Indian diaspora. And you can see that it seems that well over 100 members of the Indian diaspora have come there at the airport to receive Prime Minister Narendra Modi. So after